This is Harry Davies from Earth Fighting, joined by Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship President David Feldman. Ahead of a new year, first fight card coming up in Hollywood, Florida. But more importantly, I'm here to talk about the big news of your partnership with Four-Star Stout. David, talk to me about how this partnership with Conor McGregor's company came about.
We were actually talking before Conor made that appearance at our one event in Colorado, and we just continued the conversation. We think it's a good fit for us. We think it's a good fit for them as they're trying to expand in America. I think we can get some really big branding and get a lot of people to know who they are. And for us to get an ambassador and someone talking about and promoting our sport like Conor McGregor, the biggest name in combat sports, it's a win-win.
Was this first discussed, obviously, at that event in Broomfield? Was that even in the back of your mind? That was a big event for you guys. You sort of faced off with Mike Perry, but is that when sort of the first seed was planted, or has this been going on a bit longer than that?
Nah, I think I honestly can't remember if it was right before or right after, but that's when we kind of started talking about it. But we didn't talk about it at all then. He was just enjoying the fights. We were very happy he was there, and it was a viral moment for us, and it turned into a good partnership, and that's really an amazing thing for us to have someone like that talking about what we're doing. And for us, we have exponential growth. Our views are really only second to the UFC now, and it's going to be tremendous branding for the for Four-Star Stout as well.
What are the sort of details of this deal? Is it like a year thing, or is it a couple bit longer than that? I'm guessing it's going to be the sort of all over your guys' weigh-ins and on the ring, right? How is this? How are we looking with this deal with BKFC?
Yeah, it's going to be, it's a bigger deal. They get branding, we're going to set a VIP bar up, things like that, and he's going to talk about the event and promote the event to people. And honestly, I'm not avoiding the question. I honestly, I don't handle the sponsorships. I don't know if it's a year deal or a 2 year deal. I really forget. But no matter what it is, it's going to continue because we're going to do good for them and they're going to do good for us.
His Four-Star Stout has been hugely popular since he released it. It sponsors Matchroom Boxing over here in the UK. Obviously, Conor is a UFC fighter, and as you said there, you guys are sort of close second to them, right? Was there any conflict of interest when that was discussed? Was it like, well, he's under UFC contract, and I know he's appeared at you guys in the past, or was that really not on your mind?
Yeah, I mean, not at all. I mean, I asked about it. Dana White, look, he's he knows where he's at. He's not worried about competition right now like this, and this isn't competition to him. So you know, I had a good meeting with him, and he was a really cool guy, and he gave me some tips, and I think that he's not going to try to step on anything I'm doing right now because I'm not doing anything bad. He's just doing good stuff. So I don't I don't think there's any issue there going forward at all. And I think like I said, great win-win partnership. Look, a lot of people say they have partnerships and it wins for one side, but if it wins for both sides, it's a great partnership, and I think that's what we're going to have here.
Obviously, not asking you to reveal specifics, and as you said, Dana's great businessman, great CEO. But what was the sort of tips that he gave you in a general sense, given this partnership?
Just little things about streaming, and we just talked about fighters and things like that. Just it was just it was a very insightful, good meeting. Um, you know, that's really all I'm going to say about it. It was a great meeting. It was a great meeting.
So, what's Connor's sort of involvement with BKFC going to be? Is it anything like he needs to sort of be at the end of the events, or is it just limited to sort of his drink, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to promote the events. He's going to promote it on social media. He's going to talk about the events, and um, I think he's going to come to a handful of events in 2024, and you know, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna brand him. We're gonna do what we can do for us. It is a paid deal, just so you know. It's not. We didn't give the sponsorship away. It is that it's a paid sponsorship. I just wanted to put that out there. Like, it wasn't like we just gave it away to get Connor talking about it, which it's an amazing thing. But we're in business, so we can't just give everything away.
You mentioned that event there. It almost feels like I think that was back in April, the Broomfield one. Maybe it's a bit later. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but feels like a long time ago. Right? A lot of time has passed since then, and here we are, sort of going into a new year, and you've got this event in Hollywood, Florida, the first big one of the year. Big things for you guys heading on to 2024, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a tremendous year. We have 6 different countries here that are wanting to either invest or license BKFC. at tonight's event. We sold out, I don't know, a week ago here, which is big for us because a lot of combat sporting events come to this facility and they don't sell out. They don't come near to selling out. We sell out every time we're here. So, that's a great thing. And I mean, 2024, I really think, we're projected to triple our revenues that we did in 2020. I mean, 2024, we're projecting to triple our revenues we did in 2023. Our views are going viral, and we're going to sign some big names. It's going to be a big year for us.
Obviously, this deal is on the back of the partnership that we discussed, and Conor said it himself that I know he wants to box, he wants to be in MMA, but he also wants to do BKFC. We saw it with the Perry face off. Is that something maybe you spoke to him since? I know he's under UFC contract, but he's sort of itching to do everything, and it seems BKFC is on the list too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely probably on a bucket list for him, something that he would want to do. But in all fairness, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, he's a UFC fighter. He owes him. I don't know if he owes him 3 to 5 fights, and you know, well, I don't think they're going to ever lend out their biggest draw that they have in their company. It doesn't make sense.
Mm. In an ideal world, if you could pick one fighter on your roster, I feel like I know the answer to this be given they faced off, but if you could pick one fighter on your roster for him to potentially face in the BKFC ring and one fighter that isn't on your roster, any ideas off the top of your head? I know we're talking in an ideal world here, but I'm sure there's some fun ones, right?
Mike Perry on our roster, absolutely. And I didn't really think of other people outside the roster yet, but you know, I really don't know. I know people that I'd like to have Mike Perry fight outside the roster, but I don't know who I'd like to have Conor fight. But look, I mean, you had Conor McGregor fight Floyd Mayweather in boxing, right? And Conor put a good showing up. Imagine if you take the gloves off and you can clinch. That's a whole different game. That could be a very interesting fight in bare knuckle, right? That's just something that I think changes the trajectory of that outcome. So, something like that could probably work.
Mm. As I mentioned, that event in April feels like, wow, such a long time ago. But going on the success of that event and your 2023 as a whole is that I remember that was sort of a standout moment for you guys, right? You were taken aback by just how natural everything was. McGregor enjoyed the fight so much, he gets off in the ring, and things continue to go well for you that year. It was a great year, right?
Amazing year, best year we've had in business. It exceeded our expectations. We did more revenue than we projected. We did double the amount of views that we projected for the year. Our subscribers are going. Our sponsorships are really coming in. And what was really amazing, I think there was only 4 events in 2023 that we didn't sell out.
Touching on that year, as I mentioned, the Broomfield one, you had the Pacquiao and Sanchez fight. Is there anything other than those sort of 2 big moments that stick out to you as a whole or not?
I mean, a lot. I mean, we opened up more countries. We opened up more states. We got California legal. We're working on Nevada right now. We have some other countries that are coming on board. We're very close to these TV deals we've been working on. We got some sponsorships. Really, it was the unbelievable second half of the year for 2023. Everything just opened up for us, and it put us in a great position. In 2024 is really, I say it's a make it or break it year because with the momentum we have leaving 2023, if we don't capitalize on it in 2024, we probably never will.
Hmm. Obviously tonight, it seems weird. It's fight night tonight. Palomino against Trout, big one. For those who don't know, 2-weight BKFC champ Luis Palomino against Austin Trout, boxing veteran, fought the likes of Canelo and the Charlo twins. There's some great fights on this card. Can you sort of break it down for us going into the new year? What fans can expect from this one?
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the feature bout. The women's bout is Christine Vincent's. She's 2-0, and she's taking on Sydney Smith, who is 1-1 with us. Both really good fighters. That's going to be a banger. Co-main event is Bryce Henry. Probably I'm more optimistic about Bryce Henry becoming a star and becoming the best fighter in BKFC than anybody else out there. I think he has all the tools to become the best BKFC fighter that we've ever had, and he's taken on Robbie Peralta, who's 3-0 in BKFC. So you got a 3-0 versus a 3-0. That's a great co-main event. And obviously the main event is a 2-time world champion. Austin Trout fought everybody in the world in boxing. Now we're taking the gloves off. He is 1-0 in bare knuckle, but he's fighting a guy that's very experienced and very comfortable in bare knuckle right now. So I think it's going to be an unbelievable fight. And there's a lot of great fights. It was funny as I was doing the weigh-in yesterday, and they were coming up, and they were facing off and facing off and facing off. And I went over to my buddy Nelson. I'm like, yo, Nelson, I think we got 12 fighter night candidates tonight. This is probably the most stacked competitive card that we've ever done.
Going into this year, obviously we discussed the partnerships, great way to start the year. What are the sort of fights that you're hoping to put on? Is there any in the back of your mind? I mentioned Mike Perry because he's your superstar now, right? Any ones that you think, oh, that's a fight that I'd love to make?
I mean, there's a lot of guys under contract, and because they're under contract, I don't want to talk about them, but they're not going to be under contract for long. We have a few boxing world champions that actually are going to be here tonight that we're signing on Monday or Tuesday. It's going to be amazing. I can't really get into detail. Like I said, I'm not avoiding the question, but it messes up my contract negotiations. But there's a lot of them, a lot of big fights. We did two, what we call our 10 pole events last year, and we're planning on doing 5 of those this year.
I want to get your predictions on just a couple of big fights, boxing and MMA, that we've got this year. Starting with now your business partner, Conor. We don't know when it's going to be, but it's supposed to be Michael Chandler. If it is Michael Chandler, I'm guessing it's good business for you if he wins. How do you see that one going?
I just don't see Conor taking a fight at this stage of his career and popularity and not training 100% for it and not really being prepared mentally and physically for it. So I think you're probably going to get the best Conor that you can get at this stage of his career. And I know you're getting a really, really hungry Mike Chandler, man. It's a tough one, but I just think that everything that he has to lose, I would probably just see Conor edge that one out.
And two more. They won't be bare knuckle, but they will have gloves on. Two big heavyweight fights, British heavyweights, Tyson Fury facing Alexander Usyk in just over 2 weeks, and we've got Anthony Joshua against former UFC champion Francis Ngannou. Starting with the undisputed one with Fury and Usyk, how do you see that going? And then AJ Ngannou too.
I think that there's an if there. If you get the Tyson Fury that is in shape and training, I actually think it's a fairly easy fight for Tyson Fury. A little aggravating with Usyk moving around and dancing a little bit and at the distance. Great fighter. I'm not taking anything away from him, but if you get the really good focused Tyson Fury, he's hard to beat. And so if you get that, I think Tyson Fury, and if you get the Tyson Fury that showed up for Ngannou, then I think you got an easy win for Usyk. So I think it's just a big if on what Tyson Fury shows up. Then you got Anthony Joshua taking on Francis Ngannou. Look, if you would have asked me before the Tyson Fury fight, I would have said Anthony Joshua walks right through him. I still think Anthony Joshua probably takes this fight, but you got Francis Ngannou, who now is 10 times more confident than he was prior to the Tyson Fury fight. He's more comfortable in the ring. So I don't know, man. I mean, that's a tough one, to be honest with you. But I'm probably lean with Anthony Joshua, but I wouldn't be surprised if Francis Ngannou knocks Joshua out.